Did you guys see this article on the Wall Street Journal? Twitch live streamers say playing games is hard work. Aching backs, stress, and weight gain are job hazards for gamers and others who perform online for hours a day in front of an audience. And for most, the money isn't even all that good. The Wall Street Journal said it, guys. You hear this? We're struggling out here. Help me out. Now, I can't read the full story, so all I can do is assume what the article says based on the headline, which is how you read news in 2021 anyway. But we can read this part. After 12 hours of playing and chatting about video games in front of an online audience, Jamie Browson could barely move a muscle. I woke up the next day with no voice, puffy eyes, and my whole body was sore, said the 29-year-old who was trying to grow her fan base last year as a live streamer on Twitch Interactive. Now, this article, as far as I can tell, these articles are about people who are full-time on Twitch, who like are 50 to 100 subs. Twitch is not built for that. I couldn't believe I was reading this. And I was like looking at Twitter too. And like Twitter was just full of people like, Twitch needs to do something about this. What are they gonna do? Obviously, discoverability is an issue, right? But we're living in a culture where like there are creators and there are consumers. A lot of people just want to sit on camera and play video games, but it doesn't work. You have to do something different, right? I don't know, dude. I was reading what I could from the article, but like I just don't, this whole thing whenever it comes up is bizarre to me. I get that everybody wants to be able to monetize their passions and their hobbies and whatnot, but in the shift when all this content stuff went from just like passion projects, from things that people did just for funsies or to creatively express themselves. I mean, if you want to talk about it, this is just entertainment, right? I just don't get why it's a story. Everyone wants a Twitch career. I read something and I didn't look it up after because I don't substantiate the things that I hear. Somebody said that the #1 like career for kids now in middle school or high school age or whatever that they want to be as a content creator. And a lot of people look at that and they're like, oh my God, that's awful. I can't believe it. Blah, blah, blah. That's fucked. But kids used to say like singer and actor. And like, I just think content creator is the new form of that, just tailored to this generation. I don't think it's necessarily bad that kids want to do that, especially because a lot of people think that being a content creator is just, you know, doing what you want to do, even though it's not always. And I think that's the craziest thing, is people don't realize that, like, if you really want it, if you do what you want to do as a content creator, making it as a content creator, period, is hard. Top 1% stuff, top 0.1% stuff. But doing what you want to do as a content creator forever is even harder. The bad part is that it seems far more accessible now because anyone can make an account, but it's not actually accessible at all. Yeah, I mean, I get why Twitch did the affiliate thing. I understand why Twitch put out affiliate, but so many people you can get affiliate pretty easily. And this isn't a shot at anybody that's affiliate and happy about it, right? But if you have 6 friends who will just sit in your stream every time you go live, you're affiliate. And part of me just feels like that's a broken promise. I guess it's not a promise because Twitch isn't saying that anything's gonna happen, but a lot of people take that as like, I'm on the first step, here I go. I don't know, this whole thing it keeps coming up, and I'm not saying that this is okay, but like, if you're streaming for 15 hours a day to 6 viewers for 6 months, what do you think is gonna go differently? It's on people who think they're gonna make it, not Twitch. I guess, but part of me wonders how much Twitch is culpable for it, right? I guess they can't be, because it's not like they can have a platform that's just like, hey, you're not gonna be successful. Pokimane has eaten up all the market share. Omega laugh. Coney, didn't you hover around 100 for 4 years? Yeah, dude, so I've been on both sides of this. I was at 100 viewers for 4 years. Because I didn't take it seriously. I got home from work and I just played what I wanted to play. I played whatever indie bullshit game I wanted to play. And then I got hired at Panda in April of last year, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this seriously. Vince and I hooked up, he started working on the YouTube, blah, blah, blah. And then things got bigger, and they've gone up and down over time, you know what I mean? Things fluctuate, but like, I tried, and I did things that worked. And I think a lot of people on Twitch just like wanna turn on the cam and play video games. They're not exploring other avenues or trying to make it work. You can make it as a content creator, but part of it is also doing your job. The problem is that everybody has a different path to success, so people think that there's only one way to make it. I did see one person saying they don't take breaks off. Damn, half of all streamers who earn payouts have made less than $28 as of September this year. Yeesh. Here we go. The hazards of Twitch streaming are manifold, from anxiety to bodily pain, and the pay is unreliable. Oh. I've never missed a stream, and I won't vacation for more than 2 days at a time. Now, I will say, taking off for streaming, the decay do hit, especially the bigger you get. The bigger you get, the more likely it is that you would get decayed. But also, the bigger you get, the more you stand to lose, and the bigger safety net you have. I'm not gonna act like I haven't felt this too. I don't like being gone for too long because I like to pick up on streaming again. But at the end of the day, it's sort of an irrational feeling because the people are either gonna come back because they're fans of you, or they're not because there's a billion other people doing this. There's so many creators, dude. If you can't get them to keep coming back after you leave for 2 days, maybe you don't deserve their sub. I don't know. YouTube can help prevent that. Well, yeah, that's the thing. YouTube and Twitch, like, work hand in hand. And if you never take breaks, that ruins you too. Yeah, I mean, like, when I see content creators talk about how hard it is, we are so lucky to do what we do. I've worked a desk job. I was a corpo for 6 years. I did that life. And I would take this any day of the week. Obviously, it's harder in some ways. I just don't understand this idea that streaming on Twitch for 12 hours a day with no growth plan or even defining what your expectations are. What do they want people to do about this, you know? There's actually something really interesting that happens in content creation. I feel like there's a part, right, where as you're trying to establish yourself, all of your time and effort is basically for nothing. You're making these videos, they take forever to make, or you're streaming to audiences of 2 people for hours and hours and you're not making any money. But if you do hit it and you start getting bigger, you will eventually get to a point where the time that you put in matches the money you get out, which is actually very scary. There's a breaking point where you realize if I work X, I get Y. And it sounds like that's the dream, and it kind of is. But once you get sucked into that and you realize that, like, dude, I could just be live for 16 hours a day, all day, every day. That is an appealing proposition. It's a scary thing. I've known people that have done that have gotten, like, huge in that way. And, like, a lot of them just, like, become workaholics because it's like, all right, I made it. I did it. I'm here. I think you generally have to be known for something first before you get big as a content creator. Well, what it is you have a home game. Everybody is a home game. Everybody comes from something. And the idea is you build up in one game or one thing and you build, and then you decide, okay, am I going to keep going in this or do I want to splinter? And if you splinter, you're going to be less successful, but that's okay because you're going to be happier. You could stick with your home game forever and probably continue to grow faster, or you could break off. The problem is you have to jump off the train before you go too far, because if you keep doing your home game forever, you are stuck. You can't ever get off. That's when you get to the point where you have like 8K viewers for your main game and like 100 people for anything else. What was Ludwig's home game? Melee. Ludwig's home game was Melee because he was a Melee commentator and he was like a Melee figure and everybody knew he was really funny, and then he did the roast of Hugs and he did all this other stuff. And then as he started streaming more, he started building himself up in other places and he made good bets. He was like Mario 64, Pokemon, meme games like Jump King and Getting Over It, shit like that. Everybody has a home game that they came from. It's streamer dependent. XQC left his home game of Overwatch. Now he's the biggest streamer. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is he left his game because his game has a ceiling. Every game has a ceiling. Every game has a saturation point where your social capital is maxed out in that game. Everybody who knows that game, at least at a level where it's like casual sort of spread, everybody knows who you are. So why wouldn't you branch out, right? I guess it might be harder if you're not funny or entertaining. Well, it's like you either got to be funny or good. Just be funny or good at the game. Or interesting. But you can't really be an interesting person on Twitch. Who's an interesting person that is not funny or good? What do you think about people who have been successful despite not following the meta? I don't think there is a meta. There's a proven path to success, but there are divergent points at all spots. The thing is, there's a meta up to a point, but the same path doesn't work for everybody. Everybody has different paths and entry points, and it's up to you to navigate them and to, like, find openings. Or very good looking. Actually, I didn't consider that. That's a different class in its entirety. I think of this like Final Fantasy Tactics, and there are all these classes, right? I did not think about the very attractive class, but that certainly is a subset. I actually feel, I don't know, it's a weird thing. The way that content creation sort of works right now is, it seems like it's very difficult to make it just by making extremely good, irregular, like once a week videos. You can do it, but you're never gonna be as big as like the guy pogging in Fortnite who puts out a daily video. But that comes down to what your expectations are. Do you wanna be the biggest streamer on the platform? Do you wanna make a healthy living? Do you just wanna provide for your family? What's your deal? Whenever these articles come up, I'm conflicted because I'm like, so what? What's the implication here? Is the goal just to say, hey, it's hard to make a living on Twitch? Because, like, true. But I think a lot of people take this information and they spin it into, like, Twitch needs to do more. And I'm like, what more can Twitch do? I thought it just gets spun into Twitch streamers think streaming is hard. Imagine if they had to get black lung in the coal mines like the rest of us. Well, that's the other thing. It gets spun in both directions, and it's so dumb. Streaming and content is hard. Don't get me wrong. It's difficult. And you can't do it for, like, anybody that does it 8 hours a day is a fucking psychopath. 8 hours a day, every day? That's insane. But is it as hard as a normal job? I don't know.